We are at the slipway this evening with this beautiful little Drago or Drago 550 Fiesta Cuddy. We're going to put it through its paces on the water to show you exactly how this boat performs with this Mercury 60 horsepower 4-stroke outboard. Now this engine is much younger than the boat. I think it was installed in 2018 from memory. I do talk all about this in the showroom video, but we shot that a couple of weeks ago. But it's 2018 and it has 102 hours exactly on the clock at the minute. It's fitted with this 3-blade aluminium prop and it's a 14-inch pitch. Now that might be slightly strong just given the size of the boat. I would maybe, off the top of my head, go for like a 12-inch pitch prop or something, but we'll see how it runs with a 14 anyway. It's all in perfect condition, only 102 hours on the engine, and the boat is absolutely immaculate. So we're going to get it on the river now, put it through its paces and show you exactly how this thing's running. So we are afloat now in the Drago, and I've been playing around with it for the last 15 minutes or so, and this boat goes a hell of a lot better than I was expecting. Because it is a fairly small engine, a 60 horsepower, on what is a big enough boat, I wasn't expecting lots from it, but it performed much better than I was prepared for. It gets up on the plane quickly, top speed is about 31 miles an hour, cruise is lovely at 20 miles an hour, and it sips fuel while it's doing it. So let me just briefly walk you through the dashboard here before we put it on plane to begin with. So throttle and shift lever, nicely balanced, forwards, neutral and reverse. Obviously because this engine is 2018 and it's only got 102 hours on it, you would expect it to be very nice, and it is. Super smooth. The steering's finger light, you can turn it with one finger. Whenever you're up on plane, it's nice and balanced as well. The steering's nice and balanced. All the controls are perfect. We've some switch gear here for just bits and bobs like your anchor lights, navigation lights, anchor light, bilge pump. I think I went through most of that stuff on the showroom video. You get your stereo and stuff down in here as well. We've got the little Lowrance fish finder turned on, and it's telling us the depth of water onto the keel here, 25 feet. It's giving you the water temperature, and also it's giving us speed, so 2 miles an hour just as we're ticking over. We've got a trim gauge which is working, you're trimming the engine up and down, and we've got our tacho rev counter. So all working really nice. So without further ado, let's trim her down and put her up on plane. Don't even lose sight of the horizon, so let's go. So up on plane very quickly. The boat stays nice and level, you don't lose sight of the horizon, and then we just try and get it at our comfortable cruising speed. Here is going to be around about 3,800 RPM, so around about 3,800 RPM, and we're doing 18 miles an hour. That's because we're going against the tide. Whenever we turn the other direction, we're probably doing 20 or 21 miles an hour. But lovely steering position, great visibility through the screen. I've got this little forward section of the covers open. We've got the rear curtain removed. If you want to stand up, stand up. Great visibility over the bow. Beautiful evening for doing it actually, really nice and calm. Steering is nice and light. You can chuck it around a bit as well. speed at 3,800 RPM and 20 miles an hour thereabouts. So you can see we're going the other direction. We're now doing 21 miles an hour. We're running with the current. But at 3,800 RPM and 20 miles an hour, we are only burning 2.5 gallons of fuel per hour, so 2.5 gallons per hour. So let's slow her down gradually now. Bring her down off the plane. And you're nice and high off the water with this boat as well. You know, engine's way back there. You don't get any, you don't get any spray up over the screen. It's all nice and dry. You also don't get any backwash coming in over the transom. It feels like a very safe and secure boat. You know, the gunnel sides are very high. The screen comes up above your eye line, so you're looking straight through the windscreen. And then obviously with the camera covers on as well, that's enhances the sort of feeling of security. Makes it nice and comfortable. You can sit and have a conversation with your passengers. One thing I do want to tell you about on this boat, which we've only discovered when we went to plug in the diagnostics to the engine, is that it's fitted with, I think the owner probably did tell me about this and it maybe just didn't tweak, but it has the Vessel View app. So it has a little Bluetooth transmitter in the engine that you can connect to Mercury's Vessel View app on your phone, on your smartphone. It's actually a great little system. So you just download the app from the App Store, connect via Bluetooth to the engine, and you can read all the engine information, all the digital data from the engine on your phone. Now unfortunately, because it's on my phone and I'm filming with my phone, I can't show you what it looks like, but I can tell you the information. So it gives you all sorts of engine info, you know, RPM, fuel flow information, which is how I know exactly how much fuel I'm burning. Gives you oil pressures, temperatures, GPS speed. There's a whole bunch of stuff. Really good little app. But everything looks perfect. It also logs the engine hours, and you can log all your maintenance history on there and all that sort of stuff as well. So it's currently got 102.1 hours. That's what we started with today. So by the time we're finished, it might be 103 hours on the clock. And the fuel flow information is really good to have actually. So at idle speed, just sort of tipping along here at like, well actually around about 1600 RPM. You know, if you're using the boat on the inland waterways, around 16 or 1700 RPM, you're doing 7 miles an hour through the water. You're not creating any wash, so that's your sort of slow speed cruising speed for inland waterways, and you're burning half a gallon of fuel per hour, so around about 2 litres of fuel per hour. On the plane at comfortable cruising speed is around about 3800 RPM, and we're burning 2.5 gallons of fuel per hour. And flat out, this boat, we'll put it on the plane again now and do a full speed run to show you, but full speed, the engine's revving to 5,800, 5,700 RPM, and it's burning 5.4 gallons of fuel per hour, I think it was. So 5.5 gallons of fuel per hour is your maximum fuel burn. So that's the benefit of having a 60 horsepower on the transom. It means that your fuel consumption is tiny. You know, you could run this boat all day on a 20 litre tank of fuel. Performance is fantastic. So we'll put it on plane again now, and I'll do a full speed run. We can get our speed off the Lowrance as well, so you can see how fast we're running. But yeah, a seriously impressive top speed for only a 60 horsepower motor. So here we go once again, and we will spin it around, trim her down for getting her on plane. What an evening, beautiful evening. Just catching the last of the light today, and it's nice to get a good day for a change because the weather's been shocking lately. But I'm really glad I put this boat on the water because it's a hell of a lot better than I was expecting it to, performance wise. So, okay, so let's go. So trim down, get ourselves lined up, we'll give it full throttle to get up on plane. Here we go. That's 31.9, 32 miles an hour almost at 5,800 or 5,700 RPM. 'Cause So there you go. How good does this thing run? Really impressive performance. For a 5.5 metre boat with a 60 horsepower engine, this is as good as I've seen one go. I'm probably used to running galleons of this size with these sort of engines, and to be fair, the galleons are probably slightly broader, probably a wee bit heavier as well, so they don't perform anywhere near as good as this thing, but this boat is obviously a good match for the motor. Feels nice and solid as well. You know, it's obviously really calm here today, but whenever we're cutting back across our own wake, no real squeaks or rattles, feels nice and planted in the water. You feel very safe and secure sitting in here also. But the performance has been a real eye-opener for me. It's on the plane quickly. Granted, it's only me on board, but we do have, I've got a spare can of fuel too, so we've probably got like 50 litres, 2 tanks of fuel, about 50 litres of fuel on board. And we've got all the gear inside it as well, fenders and dock lines, and there's an anchor and all that sort of stuff in there. So, but it's on the plane very quickly, and that's with a 14 pitch prop too. So if you were carrying heavier loads regularly, you do have the potential to go for smaller pitch props, so you get down to a 13 or a 12 or even an 11, and that'll still get you on plane quickly. But the 14 gets up on plane quickly, and it runs right up to over 30 miles an hour. Running against the incoming tide, we were getting 32 miles an hour, and then running with the tide, we were getting 35 miles an hour on the Wheeler Ants there. And as I said, your fuel consumption is minuscule. You know, anything from like half a gallon per hour at 7 miles an hour to absolute maximum speed, you're burning 5.5 gallons of fuel per hour, which is still very, very little. So really nice running boat, very economical. Because it is such a fresh engine and it's only got 102 hours on it, it means that it's super reliable, nice and smooth, drives just like a new boat. And this one is in immaculate condition, so I think it's a really nice little family day boat, come overnighter. Perfect for inland waterways or even using around the coast. So there you go. I'm pleased I ran this boat. I think it's going to make it a bit more of a viable option for a lot of people, because it's been advertised now for a couple of weeks, and a lot of people have been just questioning the size of the engine, thinking it was a bit on the small side. But I think once people see this video, how well it performs with that engine, I think it's going to be plenty for 90% of boaters. So anyway, that's how this Drago 550 runs on the water. I hope you found the video useful. If you've got any questions about the boat, if you want to arrange to come and see it in the showroom, or talk to me about transport, logistics of getting it home, or part exchanges or anything like that, please don't be afraid to give me a shout, give me a call on the number at the top of our webpage, or just message me here on YouTube, whatever. Be happy to talk to you about it. So there we go. We'll get it back on the trailer now. Thank you very much for watching. See you in the next video.